Hey, it's Michelle with Star Bright Mind, and let's talk a little today about pain and growth and that uncomfortable place in between that is suffering. And I think that the main thing I want to express is that the suffering portion from going from pain to growth and health and restoration, the suffering portion does not need to last. It does not need to be extended. You do not need to suffer to get to the growth phase past the pain. So when we experience pain, whether it's emotional pain or physical pain or mental pain, it's an indication that something is out of balance, that something is off, that we need to address something. We need to look at it, we need to work through it, we need to understand it, and then create the space for it to heal. It's the same as if you get a cut, you need to give it the right environment so that it can grow and heal and restore. Whereas if you get a cut and you kind of ignore that pain and you let it fester, it can become infected and get worse, and you experience more suffering from that pain instead of getting right to that healing phase where the growth occurs and you learned your lesson and you move forward more carefully or whatever. So if you're experiencing emotional pain or mental pain, that kind of discomfort where you can't settle your mind or it's always going to negative places, you don't need to sit in that. You don't need to continually be in that place and constantly be reflecting on everything and analyzing everything and going in that loop around things over and over and over again to get through to the healing on the other side. You just need to look at it once in a way that you can actually listen to what that pain is saying and understand it so that you can create the environment for that pain to become healing. So we have this false idea that I think is programmed in from early age in most cultures that suffering is somehow strength, that the more we suffer, the more we deserve to be healed, the more profound that growth and healing might be, the more worthy we are of it. And I do not believe that is true. I don't think that suffering is really the point. Pain is the point. The point of the pain is to grow. The point of the suffering, it doesn't really have a point. It's just perpetuating the pain deeper, to more extreme levels so that you will finally listen and understand what that pain was trying to tell you all along. So that is kind of like the first lesson we need to learn for ourselves, is that suffering does not make you more worthy of healing. And it's unfortunate because so many of us suffer for a very, very long time. And it is hard to accept that that suffering didn't need to happen. But at the end of the day, if you end up healing, if you end up growing, then that is wonderful. So if you can take from this moment forward the lesson that suffering doesn't need to happen for healing to occur, you can move very quickly through pain. And that is what hypnotherapy does. My teacher, Marissa Peer, always says, like, when you go to the ER with a broken bone, the doctor doesn't say, oh, you're in so much pain. Okay, let me look at that. Okay, let's talk about it. Tell me about it. Okay, come back in a week and we'll talk about it some more. No, they address the pain. They look at it. They wrap your wounds. They heal. And that is how we should be addressing emotional pain as well, and mental pain. So to look at it and then to actually do the work to heal it right away, as quickly as possible, as efficiently and effectively as possible. It's not a Band-Aid. It hurts. You get a bone reset. That really hurts. But it's on the way to restoration, to growth, and to healing. So that is what hypnotherapy is. We look at the pain, we go deep into it, but through hypnosis, you are understanding that pain bodily. You are understanding it mentally, but you are also understanding it, like really comprehending it on an emotional, physical level. Your nervous system is processing it, your cells, your whole body is just in tune with the understanding of what the pain you have been experiencing is, where it came from, why it's there, what it's doing. But not just from a logical perspective, like, oh yeah, of course that's what it's doing. It's you feel it, you understand it. And when you feel it and understand it, then you can shift that feeling to a better feeling, a different feeling, to knowing that where you are now is not where you were then. And your whole body understands that and aligns with that now. So you can move pretty quickly from pain to healing, and healing doesn't always happen overnight, but it is a growing process. It is not sitting in that stagnation of suffering and discomfort without resolve. So yeah, pain, the opposite of pain would be growth, or the trajectory of pain is growth. And often in the middle, we experience suffering, and we tend to stay in that phase for a very long time, it seems. Many of us do. But we don't need to. You don't need to suffer. There is no benefit to suffering. If you want to understand yourself, you don't need to sit in the suffering. You just need to address the root of the pain. And when you address the root of the pain and you listen to it and you understand it, then you get to see what you can change, how you can create an environment for that pain to turn into growth. And then beautiful things happen. So if you're curious about where your suffering is coming from, there's a pain there. What pain are you maybe avoiding or letting sit there a little too long? Hypnotherapy is a great option to get right down to it and then create that environment for healing. So feel free to reach out to me at starbrightmind.com to book a free consultation and learn a little more about hypnotherapy. I'd be happy to hear from you, to work with you. In any case, please just don't punish yourself. Don't be frustrated with yourself if you are suffering. Just know that you don't have to suffer. You do not have to suffer. You are worthy of healing. You are worthy of healing from the moment you experience the pain. You're still worthy of healing, and that can happen anytime. So take the time you need to figure out what you need to overcome the pain and suffering that you might be experiencing. Okay, take care.